Okay guys, in this video what we're going to talk about is what we call the back end. And the back end is everything that you sell to your customers after they've made their initial purpose. Okay, so this video is called Killer Back End Profits. It's how to get the most from your money tree. So in this video, you have to understand that the front end product, this thing that we've been working on so much, is just the beginning. It really is. The real money is made selling more to your existing customers. So once you acquire a customer, once they buy that first product, you are out of your mind if you don't then continue to sell them even more stuff. This is essential, okay? So this initial product is there to solve the problem. So your first offering that you give them, we've talked about how it needs to be an A to B solution, and that's what we want. But you're going to have a lot of customers that once you develop that relationship with them, they're going to like your style. They're going to like what you have to say, and they're going to want to go deeper. So never be shy about turning around and offering your customers more stuff because you're going to find that a lot of people want it. And so what we're going to do in this video is talk about some ways to do that and to do that strategically and why it's something that you absolutely must do. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say this is something that I did not understand until very recently. When I did my first product, I did not have any upsells. I did not have any downsells. I didn't have any one-time offers. I certainly wasn't offering any kind of workshops or mentoring or any of that other stuff. All I had was that initial front end product. They bought that product and they literally never heard from me again. And the only reason I did that is because I didn't know any of the stuff that I'm about to teach you. I didn't understand how important it was for me not just to have one thing to offer them, but to have a whole chain of things to offer them to maximize my profit. So all I really had is that one thing. Now, fortunately, that one thing brought in enough money for me to quit my bartending job and, go out there and live my life. But even to this day, guys, it still kills me to think about how much money I left on the table by not taking those initial customers from my first product and just turning around and in a very simple, very cool, very classy way, offering them more stuff. All right. So please, please, please don't make that same mistake that I made because it can cost you your business. And as you're going to see, and I'm going to show you some real math here to sort of prove this to you. That this is something that can literally, transform your business from, a simple 5-figure annual business to a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business and beyond. It really is that powerful. All right. So now let's just cover a few simple ways to do this. Okay. Now the simplest way possible. All right. Now let's say you're thinking to yourself, well, Russ, I just did all this work. I just created this front end product. Are you really telling me that now I have to turn around and create a bunch more stuff? No, I'm not saying that. I mean, that's definitely what I'm recommending. But let's say, for example, that you don't want to do that. Okay. Let's say you don't want to create anything else. You don't want to offer any workshops. You don't want to offer any mentoring. You just want to say, I'm done and not do any more of your own stuff. Well, this is when affiliate marketing, which we talked about before, comes into play. What you want to do is find products that your customers would be interested in and just send them emails with affiliate links. Okay, now that sounds like basic internet marketing, but this is sort of doing it in reverse. All right, what most people do, and the reason most people fail at this is they start out trying to be an affiliate. All right, so just like we talked about, with being the guy who owns the fishery versus just being one of the fishermen, they try to start out as a fisherman. And they say, well, look, I'm going to try to make money as an affiliate, and then maybe someday I'll create my own product. And what happens is that those are the guys who end up spinning their wheels for years and years and years. Okay, so and so it's not that affiliate marketing is a bad thing. It's just that it's a bad place to start. Okay, where you want to start is by being the guy who owns the fishery, okay? By being the guy who's got the customers coming in. Then what you can do is turn around and offer those customers more stuff. Then you can turn around and promote other people's stuff. Okay, so the easiest and simplest way for you to monetize that customer list that you're going to have now is to just turn around and promote other people's stuff to them. Okay, so find products that your customers would be interested in and just send them emails with affiliate links. And again, you've heard me say affiliate marketing doesn't work, but it does work if you're marketing to your own customers. Okay. Now you might ask me, well, Russ, if I just bought a product from you, why would you turn around and put me give me to someone else. So why would you turn around and promote someone else's product? And the reason is that I'm not a god. I don't know everything there is to know about internet marketing. I don't know everything there is to know about driving traffic. So if my buddy has an amazing product about how you can get more traffic to your website, and I think that product is relevant to you, then I might recommend it to you. Now, that being said, since you are one of my customers and since you are on my list, you need to know that I recommend other people's stuff very, very, very infrequently. Just because there really isn't that much amazing stuff for me to recommend. Most of the stuff out there is garbage. But what you should do is find the 3, 4, 5, 6 products, maybe 10 products in your niche that are excellent and promote those to your list because they'll appreciate it and they'll thank you for it if it is a quality product. Okay, so that's the simplest and easiest way that you can monetize your list. Now, let's talk about building that list relationship. Because this is something that gets a lot of attention in internet marketing, and if you're I'm sure you've heard people say the money is in the list. Money is in the list, but that's not necessarily true. The money is not in the list. The money is in the relationship with the list. So I know guys that have 200,000 people on their list, and they like to go around and they like to brag and say, "Oh, I've got 200,000 customers on my list. It's a huge customer base. It's awesome. I can send an email and drive all this traffic and do all this stuff." Well, the truth is that a lot of them don't have such a great relationship with that list. And yeah, they might have 200,000 people on their list, but if nobody's opening their emails and nobody cares about what they have to say and nobody sees the value in what they're offering, then then that 200,000 person list, it doesn't really count, does it? The only thing that matters is the relationship that you have with your customers. So let's talk about how to safeguard that for a minute. The golden rule is this: always add value. Every single time you email your customers, every single time you send them anything, I believe that you should empower them in some way. So never send your customers an email that says, "Hey, go buy this." Always send your customers an email that gives them some really great tips, 2 or 3 great tips, even if it's just things to avoid. Give them something that they can use and then say, "Hey, by the way, if you want more help with this, here's a product that I think you should check out that I think is really great." And also, never promote anything to your list that you wouldn't use yourself or that you wouldn't recommend to your girlfriend or your brother or your sister or your wife or your husband. Okay, make really honest recommendations to your list. So don't promote any old garbage. Be picky and protect your list. Now, when I was first starting out, I needed some kind of criteria to decide whether or not something was worth promoting. Okay, because what you're going to find is that as soon as you start getting successful at this, as soon as you start making some sales, people are going to start coming to you and they're going to start saying, "Hey, Russ, will you promote my product?" Or, "I have a launch coming up in 10 days," or, "I have this amazing new product coming out next month. Would you mind promoting it for me?" And so when I was first starting to be successful and people were starting to come up to me and ask me if I'd promote their stuff, I needed a rule that I could follow to make sure that I was only promoting the best stuff there was. And the rule that I decided was this: if I wouldn't recommend it to my kid brother who was trying to learn internet marketing at the time, I wouldn't recommend it to my list. Okay? So I highly suggest that you do not send anything to your list unless you really and truly believe in it, really and truly believe it's an excellent product, and really and truly believe it can help the people on your list. Okay, so there's some great products out there that I will never tell you about because they involve strategies that I don't teach and that I don't think you should be doing. It could be the best product in the world, but if it's teaching a strategy that I don't really agree with, I'm not going to tell you about it because who cares? It's only going to distract you. It's only going to consume more of your attention, and that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is help you climb the mountain as quickly as possible, to get you from where you are now to making a fantastic, incredible passive income as quickly as I possibly can. So you can be damn sure that I'm not going to recommend anything to you that's going to distract you, that's going to pull you off that path. And I suggest that you take that same approach with your customers. Okay? Now listen, the power of this is that just by sending out regular promotions to your list, you can easily make $5 to $10 per person on your list per month. And I'm not talking about any workshops or mentoring or any of the other additional stuff that I'm about to tell you about. This is just promoting other people's stuff. Okay, so just by doing that, you should be able to bring in, I would say, between $5 and $10 per person on your list per month. So if you've got 1,000 people on your list, you should easily be making $5,000 to $10,000 off that list each and every month just by sending them emails. Now, is that 100% passive? No. You have to pick out products to promote and you have to send them emails. But believe me, I would rather send an email than work an and make $1,000 from that email than work an 8-hour bartending shift and go home with $120. Okay, you tell me what you'd rather spend your time on. So just by doing that, you can easily make $5 to $10 per person on your list per month. Okay, now, with this video, I've bundled something called Plug and Play Promotions. Okay, Plug and Play Promotions. And what this is a video course that I put together that's going to teach you 10 different ways to monetize your customer base, 10 different ways to market to your list. Okay, so in this video you're watching now, I'm going over sort of general principles, behind this. But in that Plug and Play Promotions video, which actually comes from another course, but it's perfect for what you're learning right now. I'm going to include that, and you can see the actual promotions that I send out, the exact 10 exact strategies that you can see in that video. So that's really going to help you out. Okay, let's talk about selling more stuff. Okay, now the price of what you offer on your back end, okay, is determined by the proximity to you and the level of engagement. Okay, so that sounds really jargony and weird, I know, but let me just show you exactly what I mean. Okay, there's a pyramid here that's going to give you a rough idea of the levels of engagement. Okay, so the further that you go up this pyramid, I'm about to show you, the more expensive it gets. Okay, so at the top of the pyramid, okay, the most expensive thing out there is do it for me. Okay, so this, for example, would be like if I was going to offer a service where it's like, look, I'll talk to you, we'll kick some ideas around, and I will create your entire product for you. I will create the sales pitch for you. I will recruit the affiliates for you. I will do all this stuff for you. And I actually had somebody ask me if I would do that for them and how much I would charge. And I told them there's no way that I'd ever do that. And even if I did, I'd have to charge you like $100,000 because it's such a time-consuming process. But that would be the most expensive thing that you offer is something that's do it for me. If you're going to do it for someone, that's very expensive. So a notch below that is to say, well, do it with me. Do it alongside me. Work with me hand in glove and let me bounce ideas off of you and collaborate with you so that you can help me do this. Do it with me, okay? Now, that would be something like a live workshop or mentoring, okay? So like I have a handful of clients that I work with one-on-one. Where it's not like a group thing, it's not a group session, it's just me and them working together. Now that fits somewhere between do it for me and do it with me, because I'm showing them how to do it, but then I'm also, looking at their sales copy and rewriting it, helping them rewrite it, helping them rewrite the emails they're sending out, helping them work on, whatever videos or webinars they're using, all that stuff. So that's why my mentoring program is very expensive, because it sits very close to the top of this pyramid, okay? Now the next level below that is show me how to do it. Show me how to do it. Okay, so one of the things we're going to talk about in this video are live workshops. Okay, now I say live, but they're not really live. They're pre-recorded with a little bit of live Q&A. And when I say live, again, I don't mean live and in person. I mean live over the internet, like live over Skype, live over a webinar, just some sort of way that they can call in and ask you questions. Okay, and that's very easy to set up. Now, a workshop like that sits somewhere in between show me how to do it, because that's what you're doing. You're showing them how to do it, and do it with me. Because you are answering their questions and collaborating with them a little bit, even if it's not on a one-on-one basis. It sits somewhere between show me how to do it and do it with me, and therefore commands a pretty high price point. And then finally, at the bottom of the pyramid is just give me the manual. So, that would be like if you're just selling them an ebook or whatever, and there's no live interaction and they never hear from you again and you're not answering their questions or anything like that. It's just like, here's the book, go learn how to do it. That is sort of the cheapest offering, okay? So a workshop with live Q&A elements is somewhere between show me how to do it and do it with me. And so therefore, I think that the workshops you guys are running can and should cost anywhere from $197 to up to almost $10,000. I think that that's totally reasonable. And I'm going to show you in just a second how to deploy that in a leveraged way. Now, I know you might be thinking, Russ, workshop, what does that even mean? I don't know what that means. It sounds like I have to really talk to people, and that scares the living hell out of me. Well, look, as I said, you don't have to do this. I recommend that you do. But in Plug and Play Promotions are 10 different ways for you to monetize your list. So you can run with that and do it however you want. But I can tell you right now that aside from my one-on-one mentoring program, the workshops that I do are the most lucrative thing that I've ever done in internet marketing. So if you want to emulate what I do, and that's really what this course is all about, is I'm just showing you how to do what I do. I'm not showing you theory. I'm not showing you a bunch of stuff I've never done before. I'm just showing you how to do what I do. And if you want to know what I do is offer workshops and I offer mentoring. And I do it in a very leveraged way so that it doesn't take a ton of work on my part. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay? So, and again, one-on-one mentoring sits sort of between do it with me and do it for me, and it's probably the most expensive thing you can offer. For one-on-one mentoring, if you're going to take on a client and work with them one-on-one, I would charge that person at least $2,000 a month for mentoring, depending on what your niche is. Okay, so let's talk about this workshop model that you hear me talking about so much, okay? The very first workshop that I ever offered brought in almost $30,000 in one weekend. Well, let me say that again. The first workshop I ever offered brought in almost $30,000 in one weekend. Okay, nobody was more surprised than I was. And all I did was I had a customer list of about, I think at that point I had about 1,500 people on it. I could be wrong, but I had about 1,500 customers. And all I did is whip up a quick 5 to 7 minute video. And on that video, I just offered them an 8-week workshop, and I only charged $197 for it. Okay? And that's all I did. I just sent out this video. I said, hey, well, guys, what's going on? This is Russ. Thanks so much for being my customer. And so many people have asked me some questions. They've been really fantastic questions. And I'm starting to realize that a lot of you guys are really excited about what I'm teaching and you just want a little extra help. So if that's what you want, here's what I have for you. I'm doing this 8-week workshop. Here's what we're covering. Here's what's involved. Blah, 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 blah. Here's how many people I'm going to accept. And it's the tuition is $197. And then here, click here to sign up now. And I just ran the payments through PayPal to keep it simple. I emailed my list, made 150 sales. It was like $29,550. And that happened in about one weekend. I think I had like 100 people sign up overnight. And then the next 50 sales came in over the next couple of days. But needless to say, guys, I was freaking out. I literally had sent one email to one video and made about what I would make in an entire year as a bartender. So this is how powerful this is. This is how hungry the people on your list are for that live interaction with you, okay? Now, we ran the workshop for 8 weeks. Now, here's the thing. I then took the replays of that workshop, because I recorded it, and I repackaged it into a whole new product. Okay, so what happened there was I took the replays of the workshop, I repackaged it into a new product that I could then turn around and sell. So every time you offer a workshop to your list, you're getting paid to create a new product. I got paid almost $30,000 to do this 8-week workshop and then turn it into a product that I could turn around and sell again and again and again. So that's how you get paid to create a new product. I mean, it's pretty badass. Okay, so here's how you deploy this strategy. The first thing that happens, obviously, is you make a sale of your front end products. Your customer buys. Okay, then all you do is a few days later, and I usually like to wait a few days. I like to give them a chance to, go through the product, experience the product, enjoy the product, get excited about what they're learning, and then a few days later, all I'll do is send them a quick link to a sales video. Okay, and on that sales video, you just say, hey, here's what we've got, and then I appreciate you being a customer. If you want to sign up, great. If not, great, but here's what we're doing. Okay, and then when the workshop starts, generally how I like to deliver the workshop is this. Once a week, so say like every Tuesday, just for the sake of example, I will release one video training to them. Okay, so if it's like a 6-week workshop, it'll be, they'll get one video on week 1, one video on week 2, one video on week 3, and so on, okay, until they get all 6 videos, all right? So they get video training, say, every Tuesday, and then every Thursday, we'll go on GoToWebinar, which is just a platform for running webinars, and that's the one that I use. There's a million of them out there. There's free ones, there's paid ones, so just poke around and see what you want to use. I recommend GoToWebinar, but it's not necessary that you use it. You could do you could probably do like a Google Hangout. You could probably do like a live stream through YouTube if you want. So there's a million ways you can do that. But anyway, every Tuesday you do the video training, you give it to them. Every Thursday you do live Q&A, okay? Now, what that does is it allows you to deliver the workshop with minimal work on your part. You've gotten paid up, you've emailed your customers a link to the sales video. A bunch of them have bought. You've gotten paid up front, just like I did. And now, I was sitting there with $30,000 jingling in my pocket, and all I had to do is for the next 8 weeks come out with one video every week and do one live Q&A session. Now, tell me that's not Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. So this is something that you can do, and that you can, and I think that you should do. So it's very, very simple. Customer buys, you send them a link to a sales video a few days later, you offer them the workshop, and then when you deliver the workshop, you just give them video training every Tuesday, and every Thursday you do a live Q&A session with them. Okay? Now, if you really want to get slick with this, and let's say you're running an 8-week workshop, don't create all 8 videos ahead of time. Okay? Don't create all 8 videos ahead of time. Just create week 1. Because that way, it's like, why sit there and go through the trouble of creating all 8 weeks, and maybe you offer this workshop and no one buys it? Well, then you just wasted your time creating 8 videos that nobody wants. Offer the workshop, create week 1 ahead of time so it's ready to go, and you can give it to them right away. But then when you make some sales and you have money in your pocket, then turn around and say, okay, now you have a week to make week 2, and then you have another week to make week 3, and another week to make week 4. Okay, does that make sense? So that's how you do this in a leveraged way, and it's one of the best things you can do because you're essentially getting paid to create a product, and it's one of the few instances in our business where we actually get paid up front. We get paid before we do the work, which is fantastic. Okay? Now here's why this is so essential, okay? Not necessarily doing a workshop, but here's why having a high quality back end to your product is so essential, okay? So all of the additional stuff that you sell to your list, it gives you a higher earnings per click, okay? Now we call that EPC, okay? EPC is what you earn on average for every visitor to your site. It's the most important number that there is for marketers, okay? So it's cash received divided by the number of visitors equals your earnings per click. Okay, so the amount of money you've brought in divided by the number of visitors to your site equals your earnings per click. Okay, so just as a quick example, let's say you make $2,000 and you got 1,000 visitors to your site. Your earnings per click is $2. Okay, 1,000 people come to your site. From that 1,000 people, you make $2,000. Okay, $2,000 divided by 1,000 visitors is a $2 earnings per click. Okay, so let's say, for example, that your front-end product, okay, your money tree, the product that we've been talking about, is a $97 product, okay? And let's just say, for the sake of example, that affiliates send 10,000 clicks to that $97 front-end product, okay? Now, let's say that that product, that $97 product, converts at 1%. Now, that means that 1% of those 10,000 people actually go and buy your product, okay? So 1% of those people buy it at $97. That equals 100 sales. Okay, so 1% of 10,000 is 100 sales. You make 100 sales at $97. That's $9,700. Okay, now $9,700 divided by 10,000 clicks gives you an earnings per click of 97 cents. Everybody got that? You made $9,700 divided by 10,000 clicks to your website. That's an earnings per click of 97 cents. That's not that great, okay? So let's see what happens when we offer a workshop now. Let's say 20 people buy your workshop at $497, okay? So of the 100 sales that you made, 20% of them, so that's 20 people, buy your workshop at $497. 20 times $497 is $9,940. So now, before we offered the workshop, the front-end earnings per click is $9,700 divided by 10,000 clicks. That's a 97-cent EPC, and that's not so great. But just by offering the workshop, we automatically add another $9,940 to our profits, okay? Which gives us a grand total of $19,600, okay? So our EPC at that point is $1.96, okay? So just by offering the workshop, we double our EPC to $1.96. Okay, now this is very important. Let's say you were doing paid advertising, okay, and you were advertising on Facebook, just an example, okay? And on Facebook, you're paying $1 per click. So every person that you send to your site costs you $1, all right? Well, with just the front end, with just that $97 product, and let's say you didn't have the workshop, at that point, you're just breaking even. You're spending $1 per click and you're making 97 cents a click. So you're really losing 3 cents every single time someone comes to your website. And that's going to put you out of business really fast. But by offering the workshop, you double your earnings per click to $1.96. So now, for every dollar you spend on advertising, every dollar you spend on a click, you make $1.96 back. So how many people, if I told you, look, you're going to give me $1 and I'm going to give you $2 back, how often would you do that? I would do it all day, every day. I would say, what happens if I give you $10,000? Then you give me 20 back. What happens if I give you 50,000 and you give me 100,000 back? That's the kind of stuff that we do in internet marketing, and that's why the money can come in so very quickly if you have a well-developed back end and a well-developed sales funnel, okay? Now, if you really want to get crazy, you should offer another workshop and another workshop and another workshop and a mentoring program and all this other stuff. And every single thing that you offer them on the back end increases your earnings per click and gives you the ability to spend more money on advertising and on traffic if you want to. The great thing about this business model is that most of our traffic is coming from affiliates anyway. So most of our traffic is free. But if you wanted to turn around and reinvest some of your money back into traffic, you can absolutely do that. Okay, so this is the power of this, and this is why you need to be doing these kinds of workshops. Okay, every offer you make to your customers increases your overall EPC, so make a lot. Okay, so that's the way that you do this. Now, again, on the plug and play promotions video, you're going to see some specifics about exactly different ways to deploy this with your products, with your workshops, with other people's stuff. So check that out. If you have any questions, let me know. But there you go, guys. This is one of the most important things that I can teach you. This has revolutionized my business, and it massively increased the amount of money that I make by understanding this principle of offering stuff on the back end, especially things like workshops and things like mentoring. All right, I'll catch you in the next session.